So we're attacking from the far side. Let's break this field down into first left lane, right lane, and center lane. Center lane is not really that important, but it's important to organize the field, at least in terms of left and right. Most players are doing this already, so let's just keep going. Here's the basic perimeter setup that you need. Now let's caveat it with this. See that red line I have with a black border? If any player is in any of those buildings or behind any of those buildings, they are failing you as a teammate. They're not doing it. What are they doing? What are you doing? Look at where those buildings are. Look at them. Look at them. Look at them. What advantageous angle do you have from way in the back of the field? None. You're not doing anything. You're just running around and doing, if you don't want to play on the team or you want to do your own thing, cool. If you want to optimize player shooting face capabilities, it behooves you to go forward of this red line. Now, what you're looking at from the top down, so these red dots denote the players and the yellow lines denote kind of what they should be focusing on. Let's also add this piece. You should never be doing someone else's job, and no one should ever be doing your job. If your job is to cover one window, that's all you do. You don't worry about anything else, and no one else should be worrying about your window. Because if everyone does their job, this should work. But what's going to happen? You're going to get bored. You're not going to want to cover that window or that doorway. So you're going to want to do your own thing. You're going to get shot by 4 different players, and then you're going to let those 4 players take over that position and start taking out the rest of your team from behind because you failed as a team. Good job, kids. If we're looking at the back, at the red players, all we're really doing is setting security. That's it. You're setting security. You're making sure that no one from the near side team is going to be able to flank you from the left or from the right. You can do this with, if you want, you could have those red dots be 2 players or 3 players, depending on how many people are on the field. Look, it is probably reasonable to say this far side team will have 20 to 40 players on them. I don't have 20 to 40 red dots. So if you want, you could double up or triple up. But you have to understand it to a point. 5 players on one window is just me. It's what are you doing? Go over there. Go over there. Go over there. Go over there. Go somewhere else and find a better place to be instead of just waiting for this other guy to get shot so you could step in and then get shot and the next person will get stepped in and then they get shot. And it's just madness. Moving on. The orange players can be either part of the assault team into the castle, or they can also do double duties as defenders. You don't really need to go too much farther forward in those buildings for a good defensive line. The green dot is going to be where you stage your assault team to go into the castle. You can try and go from the side doors. Here's the problem. Is look at how much open, unprotected space there are on those side doors. Or as we see them, they would be on the top and bottom. But if we're on the field, they're the left side door and the right side door. You don't want to do that. You're just going to get shot from all, look at those. Look at all these buildings. Look at all these windows and doorways and angles that you can be shot from being on the, trying to go from that side door. Don't do it. Go from the door where that big green dot is. When you go through there, you need like 10 dudes going through. And they all need to be spread out. Don't go in a single line. Don't go in cute little stacks like you see on TV because you're just going to get picked off one at a time. Going through that door should be at least 2 to 3 dudes depending on, how skinny you are. You should have at least 2 or 3 guys going through that doorway at once. The right player should be looking at what's on the right. The middle player looks in the middle. Left player looks at the left. But if 3 dudes going through the door looking at the same one player, his 7 buddies are going to start shooting all 3 of you. Does that make sense? That should make sense. That's how that works. Once you get in the castle, everyone needs to be in the corners. There should be no one really in the middle, depending on how many people you have in that castle. Everyone should be in a corner. You can get away with 2 people per corner. You can get away with that. But like, let's say you're in corner 2. Well, you don't really need to worry about a whole lot because your own team is behind you. Same thing with corner 1. If you look in that far side window, or the window that corner 1 has, it looks into your team. You don't need that. So you really only need 2 people in corner 1. You can get away with 2 in corner 2. You could do 3 in corner 2 if you want. Same thing with corner 3 and corner 4. You can have 3 players, and then that's fine. There's going to be a bunch of people going in there at some point. You can have 3 people in each corner. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's going to depend on how many people are inside the castle to begin with. If you've got 3 people in there, it's going to be tough. If you're the far side, notice I have the doors numbered door 1, 2, 3, and 4. In my opinion, as someone that refs the field, as someone that's field staff, as someone that plays the field, as someone that really knows that map very well, door 1 is the most important door if you're on the far side and you want to defend it from the near side. Because how many kids are going through that door? Almost all of them, because it's going to be way harder to get through door 2 or door 3 because you have to go through so much open space. It's really hard to get through those side doors. If you're on the far side and you're going in the castle from door number 4, which is most likely the door you're going to be using, it's really important that you get players in corner 1 and corner 2 and start putting guns on those doorways. You don't really need to look out the windows. You just need to keep players from going through the doorway. You can't climb over windows. It's against the rules. No one is allowed to climb over a window. So all you have to do is worry about players coming through the doorway. If you look at the little picture I have, there's 2 guns on each doorway. Good luck near side. Good luck getting through that. But it requires people to understand what their job is and to keep doing their job, even if it's boring. Cool. If it's boring, that means it's working. Let's look at what these corners are really going to be dealing with. So we'll start with corner 1. If I'm in corner 1, my main objective is to keep players from coming through that main door. That's the door on the right. I'm really not too worried about the door on the left because I'm going to have another corner protecting that. I need to worry about that doorway. If there's only one of me there, if I'm the only person or player there, I can tuck back behind this little piece of coverage right here, and that'll protect me from that window to the right of the door. If you know what you're doing, you should be tucked back into the corner, kneeling, and having the rifle on your left shoulder. Don't stand up. If you're tall and you stand up in one of those corners and you're on the highest part you can get, you're going to get shot in the head by someone far away. That's just, players have already had that happen. Be in the kneeling position. Think small thoughts. Or get short players in there. If I'm in corner 2, this is what I'm looking at. I'm really not worried about the door and the window onto the left because that's the door that my team's coming through. So I really don't have to worry about that unless my team gets flanked. If I get flanked, then I'm probably going to get shot through that window sometime soon. What you really want to worry about is this door right here. This door and this window. That's what you really want to concern yourself with because a lot of players are going to pass through that window trying to get to the door. So you're just shooting them before they even get to the doorway. Here's corner 3. You're looking at the main door is in front of you, but because of the angle, the corner 1 player is the one who's really concerned about that. You are keeping players from the door in front of you, which is the church side of the field, as well as that window. And remember, if you're standing up, you can get shot in the face from those far side players. Or you'll get shot by your own team. Here's corner 4. I'm not going to say it's the least important, but you really don't necessarily have to worry about this as long as your team doesn't get flanked. Because what we're looking at straight ahead is the doorway that our team's going to be coming through. And as long as you don't get shot by your own teammates, which it's probably going to happen. As long as you don't get shot by your own teammates, you should be fine here. If we're near side, then again, the first thing we need to make sure of is that we establish and understand what our left and right lanes are, and we need to make sure that those are protected so we don't get swept. It's also important to protect the farthest part of here, but generally when we're talking about left lane, right lane, we're talking about the sides of the field. Again, most players already know left side or right side anyway. Here's a general idea for how you want to defend and keep your players from being swept or your team from being swept. See the red box with the black line? If any players are behind that, they're not helping. They're not doing anything to help the team. If they just want to be their own whatever and do their thing, cool, but they're not helping the team out. All these red dots can be 2 players or 3 players in some cases, but the purpose of the red players is just to make sure you guys don't get swept, because the objective here is to take and hold the castle. Remember, everything we're talking about right now is to take and hold the castle. All right, if we're on the near side, we are most likely going to be entering from door number 4. That's the bottommost door that we're looking at. The reason we're going through that is because that's the safest place for us to enter through, because if we try and go through door 2 or 3, we're probably going to get shot out in the open. That's not fun. So we're going to get 10 or 15 or however many dudes through here, and we're going to have at least 2 to 3 players going through the door at the same time. Do not do a caterpillar stack and go in one at a time, because you're going to get shot one at a time. And when you go in, don't walk in. You need to run and shoot at the same time. Don't just tiptoe in. If you got guys that are timid or tiptoeing around, they need to be in the back of the line. But your hard chargers, your aggressive guys, need to be the ones in front going through, because you've got to push and penetrate in through the doorway. Otherwise, you're just all going to get shot in the face, and I'm going to laugh and put it on Facebook and Instagram. Corner number 1, corner number 2, corner 3, and corner 4. Again, just like how we talked about, we're having 2 guns on every doorway, and corner 1 is going to be the most important, because the far side team is going to be trying to come through door number 1. So corner 1 looks at door 1. Corner 2 looks at door 2. Corner 3 looks at door 3. Corner 4 looks at door 4. That's it. Dudes need to be in deep corners. You can have up to 2 or 3 players in here. I recommend having at least 2 for security. If you want to have a third player, then that third player is going to be shooting out the topmost window trying to pick players off. But because that one player in that window is open to so many angles, that player is probably going to get shot really, really fast. And again, it's going to be funny. It's going to go on the Instagram and or the Facebook. It's just, look, it's what we do. You figured it out. That's who we are. This is what corner 1 is going to look like. Again, that doorway in front of us is the door that the far side team is most likely going to be trying to run through. And that red circle is a little itty bitty piece, is an itty piece of the window that we could get shot through as well. But as long as we're tucked up to here, so see this little black line right here? As long as you're behind that, you should be pretty safe from that window. Here's corner 2. Again, corner 2 off to that left door is the door that our team comes through. We don't really need to worry about it unless our whole team gets swept, which can happen. We're really worried about that window and that doorway. Now, if you're that player in the corner we just talked about in corner 1, you can get shot through that window. It's like an itty bitty sliver of space. It's possible, but as long as you're just aware of what's going on in your angles and your deep coverage, you'll be fine. Suck it up. Play better. Here's corner 3. Off to the immediate left, again, is that door that the far side team is going to be coming through. But corner 1's got that covered, so we're really not worried about it. Maybe some guys can shoot us through that window, maybe. But I mean, if we tuck pretty well into it, we should be fine. As long as you understand, you know how to play your coverage and play what shoulder and what rifle to use, you'll be okay. Here's corner 4. To the left is that same doorway that we just looked at from a different angle. And to kind of sort of straight ahead or just to the slight right is the door and the window, or excuse me, and to the slight right is that door that our team is going to be using. So this player does have a decent chance to get friendly fired. Just make sure you're wearing your armband and it's front facing so your team can see you. Will you probably get shot by your own team? Yes, that will probably happen. Will it be funny? It will be funny to me. Yes, it will be very funny to me. And that's it. That's the basic concept on how to attack and defend the castle from near side and far side. Try this out. Let us know in the comments if you like it. Tell us what you think's going on. I think this is the part where we say like, share, and subscribe. We don't care. Don't really care if you do any of those things. But we would appreciate some feedback on this plan in the comments below.